Welcome to the Stepmom Side with Alicia Krasko, the podcast for stepmoms ready to create the life they want and one they actually have a say in. Here we talk all things stepmom life and just a little bit more. Leave the superficial conversations at the door and get ready for perspective shifts and actionable advice to help you on your way to creating the life you want, one step at a time. Welcome to the Stepmom Side Podcast, where we say the quiet part out loud and help you feel way less alone in the chaos of blended family life. I'm your host, Alicia, stepmom coach, real life stepmom, and here's your personal reminder that me time isn't a luxury, it's a damn necessity. Let's talk about finding you again. Yes, the woman behind the laundry, the mental gymnastics, if you know, you know, and the weird emotional triangle that is stepmom life. Okay, so once upon a time, you had a life, you know, the one with freedom, last minute brunch plans, maybe races on the weekends. If you're like me, like I used to do 5Ks pretty regularly. Like when I lived down in Dallas, like I live where there was like a big running community. So I used to do 5Ks regularly, 10Ks sometimes, but not as often. 5Ks are like a nice, easy thing. But maybe you also did like spontaneous travels and your only schedule involved what time your coffee kicked in, right? And now you're in the, what's the word I should use? Now you're in the cyclone, there we go. You're in the cyclone of parenting someone else's kids. You're coordinating drop-offs maybe, refereeing fights about screen time. Yay, how fun. And trying to make it all run smoothly, even when no one listens to you. You're tired, and honestly, you'd rather be doing literally anything else because, hi, welcome, same. And let me just say this. This didn't happen all at once. It wasn't this big moment where you said, wow, I've completely lost myself. Nope, it was the slow fade, the silent sacrificing, the thousand tiny yeses to things you didn't even want to be doing. So let me give you like a personal thing for me. When I was like thinking of how to like structure this podcast, and like there was this specific podcast episode, there was nothing that I was like, oh, yes, that is when I realized that I had lost myself. No, it wasn't. I went back and I thought about it, and when I was like in the trenches of stepmom life, it wasn't like one day I snapped my fingers and I was like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. I'm burnt out. I don't ever do anything for me anymore. It was like a culmination of things. Like things were not good. And so I was just doing a little bit of reflecting. And in that reflection, I was like, when's the last time that I did something that I wanted to do? And that's when it hit me. I was like, oh, dummy, you haven't. That's part of the problem. And it was just like this weird, awkward, hard time to just formulate like how to start doing that again or how to have those conversations, which I'll get into like later on in this podcast episode. But it wasn't just like one thing. It was like death by a thousand paper cuts, all those like tiny yeses that you didn't even know that were like adding up to like the silent sacrificings that you were doing. So let's talk about what burnout actually looks like, which is not just crying in a closet. You might be in burnout and not even realize it. And here's what it looks like. Snapping at your partner over a crumb on the counter. Girlfriend, it is not about the crumb on the counter. It's about the 8 million other things that you're doing. Mentally checking out during dinner because you're too drained to talk, or you're 1,000 miles away because the last thing you want to do is engage. Hi, welcome. I've sat through thousands of those dinners. Okay, maybe not thousands, and dinners is the word, not dinters. Maybe hundreds of dinners where I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh wait, no, you know what? I can say thousands because I've earned enough time. Um, Maybe you're pissed at your stepkids for being spoiled, even though like you bend over backwards for them too because it's easier. Ah, yeah, ouch. And maybe you're thinking, I'm the only one holding this house together, and you resent every single second of it. Here's the kicker. You've worked so hard to gain control that the idea of loosening your grip feels terrifying, scary as hell. You know your partner won't do the things the way you do. You know the kids won't load the dishwasher correctly, air quotes there, sarcasm. And honestly, you feel like everything will fall apart if you're not the one keeping all of the plates spinning. But spoiler alert for you, my friend, persevering yourself into the ground is not a flex, or at least it's not the flex that you think that it is. So here's the thing. The guilt is loud, but the truth is louder. Let's name things in your head right now. Let's just name the things in your head right now. Okay, so just stay with me for a second. Maybe you think, I can't just leave. What will the kids think? Not leave, like leave the relationship, but like leave and go and do something. If I take a break, I'm admitting I can't handle this. Oh my gosh, that one is so hard, right? The mom will think I'm weak. Oh, the outside perspective of like other people's or like other people's opinions are none of your business. That's the quote that I heard like years ago. And I was like, oh yeah. Maybe you think my partner already doesn't help. Me stepping back will make it worse. Do those sound familiar? Because those were thoughts that I had too. I thought needing space made me less than. I thought rest equaled weakness. That's how I was brought up. Like, never let them see you cry, never let them see you sweat. But here's what I've learned. Every time I gave myself that space and grace, every walk, every quiet car ride, every cup of coffee without someone yelling, Alicia! I came back feeling lighter, calmer, more me. So here it is. Here's your permission slip to put me time on your calendar. Literally, pick a date and a time and block it out like it's a dentist appointment for your soul. Tell your partner. Literally, this is what I've said. I've noticed I'm not showing up as my best self lately. I need some space to reset. I've added it to the calendar and it's a non-negotiable. Or I've also changed it to say, I've noticed that I've been a little snarky or maybe a little bitchy lately, a little short-tempered, and I feel like it's because I'm being consumed. I just need a little bit of time. So again, smart stall. Start small. Apparently, I am having trouble with words today. Start small. A walk, a glass of wine with noise canceling headphones. Hello, yes, please. Gardening, maybe you're texting your friend. You don't need a 3-day spa retreat in Sedona. You just need a little bit of breathing room. And here's the thing, my friend. Start small because then it gets easier to add on extra things. And for the love of all stepmom sanity, do not wait until you're one tantrum away from packing a suitcase and disappearing into the mountains or disappearing onto a deserted island. If you're going, please let me know because I want to come with you. You are allowed to take up space in your life, in your home, in your schedule. You don't need to ask for time, you need to take it. And yeah, the first time, like I said, might feel a little awkward or you might feel like a little guilt, but with practice, it does get easier, more normal, more empowering. Here's the truth. Your family doesn't need a martyr. They need a version of you that actually feels like you. And whether you like it or not, your stepkids are watching you. And so if you're feeling like you're burnt out or you're feeling like you're snippy or snarky or bitchy even, they know it too. But what you're showing them by taking time away for you by yourself shows them that they can do that too. Like you showing up for yourself gives them the permission, as wild as this is, to show up for themselves. Because I'm going to guess maybe, like me, you had a mom growing up that never took time for herself or didn't do anything for herself, and you bore the brunt of it. Well, welcome. Yeah, welcome. So if you're sitting there thinking, I have no idea what I even like to do anymore, you're not alone. Come ask other stepmoms inside the Stepmom Side community what they do for me time. They've been there too, and they've got the best ideas, some that involve wine and zero people asking for snacks. So if you're interested, come join us at aliciakrasko.com/community. You are not weak for needing rest. You are wise for protecting your peace. If this episode hit home, text it to your best stepmom friend, share it on your stories, tag me so that way I can see it, or leave a review so more stepmoms can find this podcast episode. Again, you're not alone. You're definitely not too far gone to go and find yourself again. I will chat with you next week. Thanks for taking time to listen to this week's episode. If anything was helpful or resonated with you, please share it on social media and tag me. I'm just at Alicia Krasko. And if you could leave a 5-star rating and a review while you're at it, that would also be really helpful. And if you find yourself struggling with your stepmom journey and you want a little bit more support without the hefty price tag of coaching, you might want to check out the Stepmom Side community, which is my own private community for stepmoms, where you get to connect with other stepmoms around the world and myself, where I hold weekly office hours and monthly group coaching. It's kind of like you have your own personal coach in your own back pocket. Again, without that hefty price tag. See you next week.